Welcome to Puzzle with Emilia, that's me, and on today's video we are going to do the easiest puzzle from the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships 2023, which is this one. You may disagree, but I think the majority thinks this was the easiest one. And you know what? I'm gonna go straight to the most important point I will have in this video, which is, if you are participating in a puzzle competition, you actually don't want an easy puzzle, at least not this easy. I'll tell you why. Because if it's an easy puzzle, it's gonna be easy for everybody. And that's an issue. I think Karen or somebody else said in the world that the moment that you open this puzzle and you see, okay, this is the puzzle, you know immediately that this is going to be an effing speed race. And also, if we're looking at the statistics, this round, which was round B in the qualification rounds, actually had the most people who indeed finished this puzzle in the max time limit. And I believe there was also a lot of people on that round who actually did their personal best time ever with this puzzle, but still didn't qualify. I think the last one who qualified with their time was somewhere around hour and 8 minutes or hour and 7 minutes. And I remember, because I was obviously following some of the Finnish people on the competition, and that round had one of my Finnish fellow puzzlers, and she did amazing time. I think it was like hour and 9 minutes, and she did not qualify. And that's exactly the issue with easy puzzles. But let's talk about why this puzzle is indeed easy. So there are a couple of pointers. For example, this is very similar to what we saw in the Worlds a year ago. So in 2022, there was this puzzle. This is London postcard. This is New York postcard. So it's pretty much the same. It's the same logic, same kind of image in a way that the basics are the same. There is a statue or building in the middle, which is black and white, and then there's like a lot of these kind of color blast and different kind of patterns and details, and also text on both. So I think it was quite surprising that they actually chose this puzzle for this year. The second reason is, and I can actually tell you, if you're not a speed puzzler and you're just starting out with puzzles and you're thinking like, what would be a great choice for your first puzzles to be, then this is a mistake many beginners do when they try to choose a right puzzle for them and they want to choose an easy puzzle. They actually choose something that looks easy for our eyes. For example, a scenery with the blue sky, maybe, you know, a small house in the middle, and then just field or grass or whatsoever. And that looks easy for your eyes. But it's not that easy when you actually start doing it as a puzzle. But instead of this, which feels almost like a little bit like a cluster F, to be honest, but there's so different kind of colors that you can say that these are like different, and you know, those are also small areas, so you don't have similar pieces too much, so it's very easy to connect them. Also, the edges are rather easy to do with this because there's just a few edge pieces for each detail or color. So that's definitely my tip for beginners to how to choose their puzzle. I know that also, just to mention, a lot of details doesn't always mean that it's easier. So that's not what I'm saying. I know, for example, a lot of people struggle with the Amy Stewart puzzles because they're so detailed. So it's not specifically the details that make it easy, because details can also look pretty much the same. If you haven't seen Amy Stewart puzzles, you can Google it. You will probably know what I mean by that. But anyway, today the point of this video is that I'm gonna speed puzzle this. And we're gonna see if I would have actually qualified on the round B. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Mental preparations. starting with the flipping the pieces. I'm not generally like a very fast flipper. Sometimes it can take me even up to 5 minutes. But I think here we are gonna finish the flipping part in 3 minutes. Yeah, and now I'm actually interested when I'm gonna stand up. I know there's very little space in my kitchen, but I usually do it quite early on. Yep, and here I am standing. You probably missed it, but there's a puzzle behind me, and when I stood up, I smashed it. You can see it's completely smashed, and it dropped some pieces. And I thought they were from this puzzle because I didn't realize that I even smashed it. So I was very confused for a moment. But anyway, I got it quite nicely going on, and I think this is pretty. I think with this puzzle there's a little more variation from where people do start, but generally they do start from kind of like from the sides and doing kind of like the middle part in the end, like where's the statue and the widest parts. I had major issues with this one because I wasn't thinking clearly, so I didn't really know like where to start with because there's so many options. But once I actually got things going, then of course there is less options left. So it got it going, but here already like 15 minutes are passed. I don't think I'm very far with this, and I was definitely feeling it because I was kind of aiming to do this under 1 hour. And if you didn't know, my personal best time of all puzzles is 45 minutes for this 500 piece puzzle. When I was in the world, at that moment, my best time was like 52 minutes. So definitely some development here. But anyway, also here my space management was a little bit off, and I even knew it because I've also done the London postcard earlier, and I kind of like all my pieces get into the middle. It's very hard to me to attach because you can see I already have kind of like the side edges as well, so I should be attaching this corner right here already to this puzzle, but I don't really know where to push kind of like my pieces to do that. And that would help me to also see the missing pieces by shape. So it's very important to attach as soon as possible, especially when you have such a big bunch of these kind of like, I heard somebody calling them like puzzle islands. So let's go with that. But yeah, here you can see exactly what is happening. A lot of whitish parts and the building parts or statue parts, pieces. I don't know why I start calling them parts. I don't know, are going to be left for the very last. We're already 30 minutes in. You could say quite good, but sometimes you get slower by the end. So I'm getting a little bit worried here. And if you've done also the London postcard, I think the London postcard is actually a tiny little bit harder. Because you can see those dots on the left side. I think in the London postcard you actually have those kind of dots in both sides of the puzzle. And I remember I missed it when I was doing it, so I was kind of collecting them together and then realized it's like completely two separate areas. But here we go. I should already start doing the green things. What am I doing? Okay, no, maybe. Yeah, so as said, this is pretty easy puzzle, but so far I don't think I would have ranked as good as I did in my original group in the competition, and also one of my earlier videos I was speed puzzling the hardest puzzle of the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship this year, and I would have ranked there also pretty much the same as I did in the competition. But with this one, I think because it's easier, then other people are gonna actually beat me with this one. But let's see. Could I do it in less than 50 minutes? Could I? 1 minute? I don't know. Maybe. Look at me go. Come on, do it. No. We're gonna be like maybe 52. Yeah, okay, 51 and 36. What a great time. Like this is actually, I would say, almost probably my second best time for 500 pieces. But I was looking at the results from the actual Group B, and I would have been ranked 24th in the competition with this time. And that's much lower than my ranking in the Group F, where I actually competed in. There I was 16th, and my time was something around 1 hour and 7 minutes. And then on one of my early videos where I was doing the Group A puzzle, I think my time was like hour and 13 minutes, hour and 15 minutes, and I would have been 15th. So you can see I did almost one of my best times of like 15 minutes, almost like over 20 minutes faster than I did the other puzzles. But my ranking would have been much lower. So yeah, that's the issue with the easy puzzles. And I think with the, if you're really like one of the top speed puzzlers, you're most likely gonna be in the top, but I think you have more advantage if it's a harder puzzle, because there's like a lot of more difference between the times. But when it's easy puzzle, there's more people finishing in like a shorter time period. So then I think also a little bit luck can play a little bit role in there. If there is like a 15-second difference or even 1 minute difference, it can actually matter, like how did the pieces came out, like how many did you need to flip, or Ravensburger usually have in new puzzles like 1 or 2, okay, maybe 2 to 3 puzzle pieces already together, like 2 pieces attached. So especially if you get those lucky ones, and then they're even like one of the hardest pieces, I would say somewhere in the middle in this puzzle, then even that could make the little difference when we're talking about the last ones who qualify, when we're talking about really like seconds of difference. But yeah, hey, here's here's the puzzle like completely smashed. I don't know what happened here. If you're wondering why is it even here, that's because I wanted to take a picture with this and I didn't have a time, but I needed this table, so I was very successful, like literally picking it up and flipping it here, but it doesn't fit exactly, so it goes a little bit over the board, and now it just smashed. I don't know how I'm gonna get it back to this table, but we'll see about that. So anyway, that was the video for today. And don't forget to subscribe this channel for more speed puzzling tips, recommendations, brand reviews, and more fun puzzle videos. See you next time. Bye bye.